If breastfeeding hurts, you are not failing. I remember the early days, I was having a really hard time with painful feeds, and just a few small adjustments can make such a huge difference. Today, I'm here to help walk you through some very simple steps that you can take to make your breastfeeding journey comfortable. My name is Monica. I'm a midwife in the UK and a mum of 3 kids, all of which are breastfed. The older 2 I fed for over 2 years, and my youngest is now 6 months and he's doing really well with feeding. In the early days, my nipples were so sore, they were cracked and bleeding. It was really, really uncomfortable and painful throughout the whole feed. I had such a hard time that first week with all 3 kids. And we put so much pressure on ourselves for breastfeeding to work out and to be easy straight away. Even though it's natural, it really isn't always easy. What I can tell you though is it does get better, and a few simple things can help make all the difference. The first thing I want to talk to you about is the latch. So the latch is key to getting a comfortable feed from your baby. So we want to make sure that baby is deeply attached onto our breast. We do that by making sure their nose is lined up with your nipple. You bring them onto the breast when their mouth is nice and wide. It's going to look like they're yawning. And then we want to bring them in chin leading. I have a video on positioning and attachment for babies. So it's about upright feeding positions. I'll link it down below so that you can check that one out next, because that's going to help a ton. Once you've got your baby attached on correctly, it should feel like a tug rather than a pinch. And we want that to sustain through the feed. Sometimes what can happen in the early days is your baby gets sleepy and tired, as most newborns will at some point in the feed. Then their mouths can slip off the breast, making that attachment shallow rather than deep. So just pay close attention to that. And if you are starting to feel uncomfortable throughout the feed, just put your little finger in their mouth to break the seal and attach them on again. It makes a huge difference if we can sustain a great latch throughout the feed. The second thing that I want to talk to you about, and I think this is a really underestimated one, is accessing skilled support. So if you're watching this and you are pregnant, or if you are in the very early days of having your newborn baby and feeding is going really well, that's amazing. It's a really good opportunity to look at the breastfeeding support in your area and save a number of a helpline or whoever you can go to for skilled support in your phone, so that when you need it, it is there and you've not got to worry about looking that up. If you're in the thick of needing breastfeeding support, I'd really recommend calling a UK based helpline if you're here in the UK, or if you're in another country, look at what you've got available to you for skilled support. People that really are able to give you suitable evidence-based healthcare advice in terms of your feeding. So a lactation consultant, a midwife, health visitor, as long as they've got breastfeeding training, they're going to be absolutely invaluable to your journey. And the breastfeeding charities can also be a really great help too. I'm going to link some options down below to help out with that search. The third thing that I found to be an absolute game changer and a hero product are silver cups. So I'll show you them now. They came in this little pouch here. You get 2 of them in a pack, 1 for each nipple, and they go on once they've been cleaned to your nipples. You can apply them with a little bit of nipple cream or on their own, just as directed. And the silver is really cooling, first of all, so it's really going to help with that soreness, and also the antibacterial properties of silver work wonders for healing the cracks and the soreness. They were a game changer for me this time. I didn't discover them in my first 2 breastfeeding journeys. This time I couldn't believe the difference, and everyone that I've recommended to since has gotten really well with them. They are reviewed and rated on Amazon really highly. I'll link them down below for you guys to check them out. But honestly, if you've got any breaks in the skin, these are amazing. They also work really well for your nipple cream. So I use Lancino, which is just this one here, but you can use any one that you like. As long as it's suitable for breastfeeding, that's fine. You can apply it generously in between feeds, and what's great is you don't need to worry about washing it off. As long as it says it's safe to feed with, you can keep it on and pop that on after feeds, and then once you've got your silver cup, you then put that on the top, and it's great. They kind of work in tandem because the nipple cream then will stay on and won't get rubbed off by a breast pad or a bra, and it just really helps to lock in that moisture. That's what we're aiming for here. We want the moisture to seal into that skin so that it heals those cracks. And then once the cracks heal, it's then much easier and more comfortable to get that deep latch on correctly, and then it all should start to feel a lot better. The other thing that's really important in terms of making you more comfortable is just paying attention to how your breasts are feeling. So just general nipple and breast care. So using cold or warm compresses can be really helpful. So options for that are just using like a flannel and making sure that that's the right temperature for you, so you can either cool it down or warm it up depending on what you'd like to try, and that can really help with making you more comfortable, particularly around day 3 when you're going to be feeling quite engorged. It's a really good idea to try either some warm therapy or some cool therapy, and hopefully that will make you feel more comfortable. So all those 4 tips, making sure that you've got a deep latch, then you want to make sure that you've got skilled support on board. Try the silver cups and the nipple balm, and then 4th, just think about your overall breast care, warm and cold compresses. I really hope that helps. This will get better. Right now it feels really intense and difficult, but I promise you it becomes the hardest thing in the beginning that then will, once you've cracked it, no pun intended, it then becomes so much easier. And I can't tell you how thankful I am that I persevered in those early days, because it's so worth it. I hope you loved the video. Leave me a comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one.